Live. Hey, ladies. Let's see. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the No Stress Zone.
Hi.
Hello, hello. Let's see. I want to see if anybody can see me, hear me, make sure that our video and volume is working. Try it out on my phone. It's refreshing.
Is it?
Let me see. All right, we got some people here. Where are you guys from? Oh, it looks like it's like...
Oh, I see some people I know in there.
Hey!
Hi, Paige. Hi, Malika.
Is the chat working? Hey, Malika!
Hi. Thank you for giving us that
You
feedback.
can hear us. Thank you. Shakita.
Hey, you're in Houston. What up,
From
Paige?
Houston. Hey.
Erica, New Jersey.
Erica, what's up?
Hey, girl. Rock Chuck.
Oh, gosh. Here they go.
She went to Colorado, so.
Yeah, we don't rock chalk over here. And Portland,
Oregon.
Hey,
Thank
what's
you.
up? Welcome, 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 welcome.
I love Portland. I went there last summer. It's amazing.
I've never
Corpus
been.
Christi, what up, girl?
Corpus Christi, hey.
A fellow Texan.
Okay, so my name's Jaleesa Ann, and we are going to, this is Amanda.
Hi, I'm Amanda Muhammad.
We're going to formally introduce ourselves in a minute, but thank you guys all for joining us live. I'm so excited for this class. Like, I've been looking forward to it for so long. And I'm just really hoping that we can teach you guys something today. I think that together we are definitely powerhouse.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to today. We've been talking about this and working on it for a long time. So looking forward to teaching you guys some things about stress management. And I'm always learning things from her about financial management. So
yes,
get this party started.
We learn from each other. Awesome. So thank you guys for joining us. We actually have a slideshow presentation set up for you guys. So hey, Melissa from New York, Stacy from Canton, Vanessa. Vanessa, where are you from?
Vanessa,
I know. She won't tell us where she's from.
Girl. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. We won't hurt you. So if you guys got the email, you know, I told you to grab your water, grab your wine. This is going to be just a good night. Yeah, we both have water because Amanda didn't have any wine today.
I'm not drinking.
Okay. Next time I'll have the wine.
I might too.
Oh, Vanessa, you're from Denver. Hey.
Oh, nice. I love Denver too.
Me too.
I know you.
I feel like
You
it's
just got back
my second home. Yeah, I was in Denver last weekend for a wedding, so I love Denver. So we're gonna get started with the slideshow and introduce ourselves further and really get started on our presentation.
Ma'am.
So. And we will full screen it. Oh, great. I saw something in the comments. Oh, Bianca, she says she's having problems with the video. Is anyone else having problems with the video? Vanessa, were we at the same wedding? Maybe. Bianca, if you're having problems with the video, I would suggest refreshing the page because sometimes with Google Hangouts, you have to refresh a couple of times. So if you exit out and go back in and refresh the page, it should pop up. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do the slides now.
All right. Give us just a second.
There we go.
Make it see it.
Okay, so yes, we're screen sharing. So we are all set. So, okay, ladies, it's time to get information.
We love puns.
And let's see. Okay, so basically I want to give a few webinar tips. So give yourself the gift of this time. I just want you to free yourself from distractions. This is going to be a sacred learning space where you can kind of just give back to yourself and learn something new and take something away. So get your notebook and turn your cell phone on silent, just in case there's an emergency. We want people to be able to get a hold of you, but we don't want it to become a distraction. And I also want you to open your mind and just be coachable and open to learning something new. And be open to learning something new. So we have a lot of things that we've learned over the years, a lot of negative programming. And when we go to these webinars and to seminars and we learn from other experts and other women like us, most of the time we spend a lot of time unlearning all of the negative things we've put into our minds and put into our lives. So that's first things first. Just give yourself the gift of this time. Okay, so my name's Jaleesa Ann. I'm a personal finance coach and I am the founder of My Money Mogul. My story really begins a couple years ago when I was laid off from my job. And I realized that I was literally one paycheck away from homelessness. I had no idea how to manage money. I was raised in a single family household, and I, for a long time, used that as an excuse not to be good with money and not to learn the things that I needed to learn and take care of the things that I needed to take care of. I would just say, well, I never learned about money, so I just kind of allowed that to be my excuse to kind of mismanage it. And that day I walked into my job and was told to go home was the day that I realized something has got to change. And that something was me. So since that time, I was able to pay off over $40,000 in debt. I've spent the last 5 years in the banking and financing industry. And I've spent the last 5 years in the banking and financing industry, and basically I've devoted my life to helping women reach financial freedom and really get their money right and really learn how to use money as a tool to get the things that they really want and love in this life. And I help women take control of their finances and build their financial empire so that they can live the life that they love.
And my name's Amanda Muhammad. I am a certified yoga and stress management teacher. How I kind of stumbled upon this was during college, my family went through some really crazy hardships, and my mother actually, looking for some peace, went to a yoga class. And so out of the joy that she found from it, she invited me out. And at the time, I was living quite recklessly, and I wasn't really sleeping. So she takes me to this yoga class. At the end of it, I'm like, Mom, that was crazy. Somebody fell asleep. Who was snoring so loud? She was like, Mandy, that was you. So I instantly fell in love. I was like, yeah, this is a thing. So I started doing it. I went to the University of Kansas. I was doing yoga in any little studio that had yoga there at the time, and started traveling back and forth to Kansas City to do yoga with my mother. And so Eventually, I actually took an entrepreneurship class, all while still falling in love with yoga, and they made us create a business plan. So I came up with this company called A Piece of Yoga, and it was going to be a studio that me and my mother, that we ran together out of Kansas City. I aced the assignment, business plan just kind of sat there. So I went on to kind of start climbing this HR corporate ladder, thinking I was going to be some big wig. I hated corporate America. I hated everything about sitting in a cubicle and being told when to go to lunch and being told, you know, what to do and all the order and all the procedures. It wasn't for me. And I did my yoga here and there while I worked in HR and in operations, but eventually I got to a point where I walked away from my job, and I just kind of dove into my yoga practice and decided, okay, I want to get back to that thing that made me so excited back in college. And so I started my yoga teacher training certification, and started getting more into mindfulness and meditation and anything with stress management, figuring out how to make people happier in their everyday lives. So I teach there. So I have a private yoga practice here in Dallas, Texas. I also teach online. I teach at a homeless shelter. I'm also by day a second grade reading teacher. So I make my kids do breathing exercises. Some of them love me for it, some of them hate me for it, but they all equally benefit from it. I also teach the middle school girls yoga and a plethora of other things. I teach mindfulness at the homeless shelter, and just really looking forward to helping more people figure out how to manage their stress and find happiness in their everyday lives.
All right. So Amanda's going to talk to you guys about what is stress.
All right. So stress is what you guys experience when you feel you don't have control of a situation. It's something that is necessary for survival, and it's actually programmed into us. So let's revisit our caveman days. In these times, we spent our days hunting for food and then coming back to the cave. While on these hunts, cavemen would run into crazy threatening situations like a saber-toothed tiger. That release of adrenaline in that moment is what allowed them to survive. Some of you guys may know this as fight or flight. It's also known as the stress response. The anger, the fear, the anxiety that you feel when you're facing a situation that you don't have control. Seeing a large carnivorous animal activates your stress response and triggers your sympathetic nervous system to produce changes in your body and release hormones, which are most easily explained as adrenaline. So that shaky feeling, the knot in your stomach, all of that is your stress response. When you experience stress, your entire body undergoes a series of physiological changes that prepares you for life-threatening emergencies. Our brains and bodies can't see the difference between a saber-toothed tiger or a major test or deadline we have coming up, especially if you have multiple deadlines, relationship problems, car trouble, and a plethora of other stressors. You can find yourself feeling and reacting as if a saber-toothed tiger is actually in front of you. So unfortunately, the brain releases the same response and resorts to doing what it's familiar with and thinks will get you back to feeling safe. A threat is a threat is a threat when it comes to your mind. Now, it's important to note that not all stress is bad stress. We have eustress, which is what we feel when we're asking for a raise, riding a roller coaster, or watching a close game. This kind of stress is usually helpful and motivational for us. But when stress becomes too much and the fun is taken out of the challenge, it becomes distress. And that's what we're most familiar with and the type of stress that leads to all our bad decisions. So how does stress affect you? When our sympathetic nervous system is activated, we go into fight or flight mode, and our physiological system kicks into high gear. So we notice things like how afraid we are, but we also notice that we're breathing faster and our palms are sweating. This is just the beginning of a number of changes that can occur. Your heart rate speeds up, your blood pressure rises, your digestion slows, blood navigates away from your skin and shoots to the brain and skeletal muscles, and this makes your muscles tense, and you have that sense of strength so that you can take on whatever action you deem necessary for survival. Your blood clots faster to repair any potential damage to your arteries. Your pupils dilate so you can see better, and this is just to name a few. Research will suggest that 75 to 90% of all visits to primary care physicians are for complaints and conditions that are in some way related to stress. Stress has been proven to negatively impact your health and well-being. When you're under stress, your muscles contract and become tense. This muscle tension can affect your nerves, blood vessels, organs, skin, and bones. Chronic tension can result in a variety of disorders such as muscle spasms, cramping, face and jaw pain, headaches, chest pain, and back pain. Since stress can increase your blood pressure, constrict your blood vessels, raise your cholesterol level, and speed up blood clots, it is considered a major factor in heart disease, which is the #1 killer. Stress has been proven to cause stomach issues, ulcers, and compromise your immune system, especially when it's chronic stress, which is that stress that extends for a long amount of time. When you're under stress, the part of your brain that is responsible for thinking, learning, listening, and language essentially shuts down. It wears on your relationships and makes it harder for people to want to be around you and for you to tolerate wanting to be around other people. You can lose sleep making the following day a repeat nightmare because you aren't well rested. And you can lose your motivation. You start feeling helpless and just barely have enough energy to make it through the day. All right, so in order to figure out how to manage our stress, we first need to address what it is that stresses us out. A stressor is anything that causes the release of stress hormones, and they are typically broken into 2 really broad categories: physiological or psychological. Physiological or physical stressors are things like extremely hot or cold temperatures, injury, chronic illness, or pain, things like that. Psychological stressors are events, situations, individuals, comments, or anything that we might perceive as negative or threatening, like you can't find a sitter, take time off work, or have an ugly argument with your significant other. Some scientists will take it even further to break down stressors into absolute and relative stressors, but I'll save that for another day. I've listed some common stressors you may face in your daily life: jobs, deadlines, relationships, poor health, national disasters, friends, family, major life change, and death. But what do you guys think the #1 stressor is?
So what do you guys think is the #1 stressor? Let's see, can I see the chat? Oh wait, why is the chat currently disabled? Money, yes, debt.
You got it.
Debt, money, yes, absolutely. Okay, I don't know why I couldn't see the chat, but now I can see it. Yes, the #1 stressor is money.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Woo. So I'm gonna give you 5 steps to managing your money stress. And I feel like money is the #1 stressor because money affects everything. I feel like everything requires money, whether it's healthcare, whether it's, if you have more money, you have more opportunity to hire a personal trainer, hire a nutritionist, get back in shape, hire a psychologist, whatever it might be. Whenever you have more money, I feel like you can fix a lot of the issues that you have. And the American Psychological Association actually has reported that 3 of 4 adults report money-related stress. So they also report that lower incomes tend to have higher money stress. So, yeah, if you don't have enough money to provide, that could cause even more stress. But there is a huge common misconception that more money will get rid of your money stress. And that's not necessarily the case, because there are people who make millions and millions of dollars and they're still stressed out about money. And they still have an impoverished mindset, and they still believe that, for whatever reason, all of their money can go away tomorrow, and they still have that fear, should I say. So the first step to releasing your money stress is you have to take control of your finances. The first thing is you are in control, not the government, not your mom, not your dad, not your job, not your boyfriend, not whoever it is that you think is in control of your finances. You are absolutely incorrect. You and only you are in control. And if you are waiting for anyone at all to come and save you, you are wasting your time and you are doing yourself a disservice. So in order to take control of our finances, one of the first things we have to release is blaming. I was the best at this. I knew how to blame everybody from my manager to the company to Sally Mae, who's now Navient. I blamed everybody. Toyota Financial, I blamed them all. So what blaming does is it robs us from our empowerment and our joy and our abundance, and it will keep you stressed out. So we have to release blame, because what happens is that if you're blaming someone else, you are giving them your power and you are relinquishing your control. So before you can release that money stress, you have to take back that control. Because if you take full responsibility for where you are financially and where you are in your money, then you can change that. You and only you can change that. If you're blaming someone else, if you're waiting for your boss to give you a raise, if you're waiting for your company to recognize your worth, again, you're doing yourself a disservice and you are giving them your power. So I would always say I'd make more money if, I didn't graduate in a recession, or I'd make more money if only my boss would let go of all the other people, or whatever it was excuse that I made. I made all kinds of excuses, I'll tell you this, but I had every excuse as to why I could not make more money. And eventually, I finally stopped blaming everybody else. I finally let go of my excuses, and I took control of my finances. I looked in the mirror and I said, the only person who is here to save you is you. So the second step to releasing your money stress is to stop avoiding it. Now, iPhones, Androids, all of the phones have these nice little block features, but I don't know if you guys remember, before you could actually just block people on your iPhone, you had to download like the app that would block people, and it was like a third-party app, and you could like list their number in there and then it would block them. Well, I had all the creditors blocked. And you know how they call you from an auto dialer, so they start calling you from different numbers? Well, I would just continue to add the different numbers to the block list. Before long, my block list was so long. I was avoiding everybody. And there's different money personalities that you can have. And some people are spenders, some people are savers, some people are avoiders. And that's a real money personality. And that was my money personality. I was avoiding it all. So I avoided looking at my bank accounts. I avoided looking at bills. There would be times I would be out with friends, swiping debit cards, saying quick prayers like, ooh, I think I have the $20 to pay for these drinks. Right. So before you can release money stress, you have to stop avoiding it, because the truth is, it's never as bad as it seems. It's never as bad as it seems. And when you ignore something, you are actually giving it fuel, and it's actually growing. So if you have weeds growing in your garden, the longer you ignore them, the stronger they're going to get. And before long, they're going to overtake your entire garden, and you're going to walk out there and there's not going to be any tomatoes or peppers or anything or whatever it is that you're growing. So you have to face that weed. You have to get your weed killer, and you have to get down on both your hands and knees and pull it up and face it. So we always fear what is unknown, but the only way to face fear is to feel the fear and do it anyway. So the third step to releasing your money stress is to pay down debt and get your credit right. So it's hard to manage your money when everybody else is in your pocketbook. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie about that. One thing is we don't realize how much debt is costing us. Sometimes when we're looking at our credit card statements, we see $25 minimum payment, and we don't realize that that $1,000 that we have charged on that card, or that $10,000 we have charged on that card, could be costing us $100 a month just to carry that debt. And that's just the fee. And all we see is just the monthly payment, which is just that $25. And it's like we're throwing money out the door. And we have to begin to cut these ties, get these people out of our pocketbook so that we can manage our own money, so that we can begin investing our own money back into ourselves, back into our skill set, back into learning how to create multiple streams of income. And in order to do that, we have to cut ties, and we have to start facing it and paying down the debt. Now, the second thing with credit is your credit score is not your identity. And a lot of people get real caught up in wanting to have a perfect score. And it's not necessary to have a perfect score, but it is necessary to have a good score, because basically what your credit score is saying is, did you do what you said you were going to do? So you borrowed this money. You said you were going to pay these people back. You said you were going to pay them back in a certain time, in a certain manner. And if for whatever reason you did not do that, you were not keeping your word. And that's basically what it's saying. So in order to release our money stress and to be honest and forefront about who we are and keeping our word to people, we have got to get our credit right. We've got to do that. So one thing that credit will allow you to do, though, it will allow you to borrow money when you do need money for investment opportunities. So if you need money to finance an investment property, or you need money to invest in your business, if you don't have business credit, you might need to use your personal credit. And you do not want to be borrowing credit at 25% interest because you didn't pay Comcast back 2 years ago. You know, you should be focused on getting that stuff corrected so that when you do need to start your business, when you do need to go get an investment property, you can invest at lower interest rates, and you can have investments that are paying for that debt. So the fourth step to releasing your money plan is to ditch the budget. Ditch the budget. Budget has such a negative connotation to it. The word just makes you cringe. I mean, it makes you sick. It's almost like diet. Like when you hear the word diet, you're like, oh God, not another one, you know. So we're gonna ditch the budget, and we're gonna adopt a spending plan. We're also gonna let go of money hoarding. So I get a lot of people, a lot of one-on-one clients, a lot of people in my courses who are always like, well, I know I need to stop spending money, and I know I need to do this and I need to do that. One thing that is a misconception is you don't necessarily need to stop spending money. You need to start spending it better. You need to allocate it better. You need to have a plan for your money, because money is energy. Before there was actual paper money, people exchanged services. They exchanged energy. I don't have paper money, but I have this sheep who has this wool, and you need a blanket. So I'm gonna get my clippers, and I'm gonna shear this sheep and give you this wool, and that's an exchange of energy. And that's what money is. And we get so caught up sometimes in it being like a paper, physical, tangible thing, but it is an exchange of energy. And energy is not meant to be hoarded. It's not meant to be kept in a little box. You know, it's meant to circulate and to grow. So one thing I always say is that all the money I spend comes back to me multiplied, enriches the economy, and comes back to me multiplied. So we have to begin creating a spending plan and ditching the budget, ditching the lack mentality, ditching the cutting out everything that we love, ditching cutting up our credit cards. Even though if you have an issue, I do recommend that you cut those up, or at least put them somewhere where you can't get them. Sometimes And it's funny, and when I was in college, actually, and my friends can attest to this, I had my credit cards in a Tupperware, like, what do you call it? Like,
Plastic bin?
yeah, like those plastic bins. You know, they have the red tops and the blue tops, you know, that you buy from Walmart. And I would put my credit cards in there on the bottom.
Thing.
Yeah, the Rubbermaid things. And I would put water in there, and then I would put it in the freezer.
Oh my gosh.
And I would freeze it. And whenever I wanted to make a huge purchase, because I had an issue, whenever I wanted to make a huge purchase, I would have to wait for it to thaw, or I'd have to sit it in the sink and run all the hot water on it for it to thaw, and then pull my credit card out. Well, now PayPal saves all your credit cards. That doesn't really help, or Apple Pay. But back then it used to work, because by the time I would actually thaw, I wouldn't even want what it was I was going to go spend the money on. Right. So it helped me to create a better plan. But again, we don't want to hoard money. We want to make sure that we are allowing that energy to flow, and that our money is circulating and coming back to us multiplied. So my fifth and final step is to improve your relationship with money. Some of us have a pretty abusive relationship with money.
Guilty.
I was guilty too. It's okay. I was so guilty. We have a really abusive relationship with money. And the thing about it is, if we hate money and we have this destructive, abusive relationship with money, why would money want to flow to us? Why would money want to stay with us? Why would money want to grow with us? So we have to begin to renew our relationship with money. And a lot of that sometimes stems from our childhood and the things that we were told as children. Sometimes when we are told as children that we can't have something, we basically think that means that we don't deserve it. And because we have this "I don't deserve it" in our head, we never go after it. We kind of flee from it. Sometimes it makes us feel better to say, oh, well, money isn't everything. Well, that's true. Money isn't everything. But like Zig Ziglar says, it's right up there with oxygen. You can't live without it. So let's just call a spade, and orange, and apple. We need money to survive. And you can do so much more for this world, and so much more for your family, and so much more for whatever it is that you're passionate about with the money and the resources that you need. So as much as you want to make a difference on the world without money, think about how massive and how far your reach could be with money. Like, think about how influential Oprah is now that she has billions of dollars. Like, how many lives she can change with that money, how many schools she can build with that money, you know, how many scholarships she gives with that money. I read something about LeBron James giving so many millions for scholarships last week. I mean, that's awesome. Like, I would love to do something like that. So begin to improve your relationship with money. And now, don't love money for money itself, but of course have a love for money, where you love the opportunity and the things that it can allow you to do. And what you're really loving is the people and the lives that you can change. And that's true love.
Absolutely. All right. So stress management. So as we know by now, stress is something that is unavoidable. We're going to face stress. But stress management is a necessary gateway for self-awareness, emotional regulation, and managing your healthy relationships. A few minutes ago, I spoke on how our brains and bodies can't tell the difference between incredibly threatening stress and chronic stress that has been built up over time due to various stressors. When those cavemen were chased by tigers and got that rush of adrenaline, when they got home, they were able to rest and prepare for the next day. But nowadays, we're trying to wake up, fix breakfast, go to work, get stuck in traffic, deal with the demanding bosses, unnecessary meetings, multiple deadlines, picking up kids, getting stuck in traffic again, balancing relationships, managing health, trying to find a social life, opening apps on our phones probably hundreds of times a day, keeping up with our shows and this election, we don't make time for rest. So
no rest.
Remember, no rest. Team no sleep, right?
Right.
Remember, when we are stressed out, the part of our brain that is responsible for thinking, listening, language, and learning shuts down. So how can we expect ourselves to put out our best work or maximize our potential? We have to learn how to manage our stress and how to deactivate the stress response when it's not necessary. So those feelings of anxiety, that anxiousness, that gut feeling, all of those things that just aren't really necessary in that moment, like feeling like you have to fight, we have to figure out how to shut it down when we don't need it. We need to start finding ways to incorporate some type of release so that, like the caveman, we can be ready for the next day. There are different things that you can do to become more resilient to stress and bounce back quicker than you're doing right now. They'll increase your energy, your overall quality of life, and they're accessible anywhere for anyone at any time. All right. So first, after you have an understanding of what your stresses are, you need to take time to see what you can do to counter the problem head on. If you find yourself complaining about not having enough time, wake up earlier or skip a happy hour. If you absolutely hate your job, take some time to explore your options and put in some applications and skip the TV watching for a night. And
create multiple streams of income.
Right on. We're big fans of 7 streams.
Yes.
That's the goal.
Or more. You know, I went to see Tony Gaskin last year, and he said he had over 100 streams of income.
Is he the relationship guy?
Yeah.
Like the queen?
Yes.
I love him.
I know, but I was like, 100 streams? I need to get on that level.
Okay, yeah. We can go more than 7. No problem with that. All right. Next, similar to what my girl Jaleesa was just saying, your thoughts are everything. Change your thinking around where you are currently in your life. If you can't appreciate what you have now, why should you be given more? Mm-hmm. Look for the good things in your storm. You might hate your job, but at least you have one. So much of our happiness can be found in taking time to change our perspective. Side note, me and Jaleesa are super duper nerds. And before we started this, we were actually just listening to an audiobook that we love called The Positive Dog. And that's exactly what they were talking about. And they were talking about how, you know, a lot of times we'll be like, oh my gosh, I have to go to work. Oh my gosh, I have to take out the dog. Oh my gosh, I have to do X, Y, Z. No, you get to. Like, be thankful that you get to do those things. Like, you get to go to work. Because trust and believe, if you didn't have to go to work today, you would be upset about some other things. Right. Oh my gosh, I don't have it to pay my rent. Oh my gosh, I don't have it to turn my lights on. And I've been there, and it's not pretty. Right. So you got to get grateful now for the things that you do have, and then you can be blessed and showered with more. Okay? All right. I'm an advocate for regularly practicing mindfulness exercise like breathing or yoga to challenge yourself in a different way. As you may know, I am a yoga and mindfulness instructor. Shameless plug. Next exercise. Exercise grows your insula, which is the part of the brain that tells you when you're upset, you're tired, you're hungry, or you need to show empathy for somebody else.
I will tell you guys that most self-made millionaires and successful people have a regular habit of exercising. Absolutely. Regular habit.
Absolutely. And I was just talking to Jaleesa about this the other day. Every single book that I read, they talk about waking up earlier and they talk about exercise and the importance of it. And I recently read a book called The Power of Habit. You need to read it. Where I started addressing some of my own bad habits. And it made me start waking up earlier in the morning. I get up around 5:15 now. I get a workout in. I eat a good breakfast on my balcony before I go and face my day. By the time I get to work or do whatever I have to do, I am just blasting with energy. I've already, done my prayers. I've already done my gratitude. I've gotten a little yoga in. And it has just completely transformed my entire life. My entire life. Okay. So back to the habits. Pay attention to them. Pay attention to your habits. 90% of everything that we do is habitual, meaning we don't think twice about it. If you come home and crack open a bottle of wine every night, it's not exactly the best option if you have a big project to prepare for or need to get up super early the next day. Hence why I'm not drinking.
Or maybe it is.
All right. Another thing to pay close attention to is your environment. What are the people around you doing? The magic number for me is 5. look at the 5 people that you hang around and communicate with the most. What are they doing? Are they ambitious, positive, and striving to go the same direction as you? Or are they just kind of going day to day, bumping into things and calling it adulting? Make sure the people you are around are a reflection of what you need to be.
But it's calling it adulting.
Calling it adulting.
Hey.
You know, I mean, that's, but luckily I have what I call my tribe, and that consists of Jaleesa and my girl, she's on the chat, Malika, and we keep each other in line. We do. And, we're all trying to do similar things and just want the most out of our life. And so we expect that of each other because, I told one of my friends this week, she told me she had a goal, then she told me she hadn't done anything for it. I'm sorry if you're on this chat, I do love you. But I told her, I said, look, I'm gonna stop messing with you. You keep slacking off because you messing with my top 5. I talk to you too often for you to be out here on the play. So get your life together. Okay.
And the thing is, I have people ask me, well, I don't have that person and everyone around me is negative. What do I do? Do I need to cut that person off? Do I need to, most of the time you don't have to do anything. You just need to become a better person. Focus on you, and what you will find is that God will send amazing people in your life. Amanda and I met years ago, and one day I go to this seminar in Dallas, and I'm sitting 3 rows behind this girl, and I'm like, man, she looks familiar. And she turns around, I'm like, oh my God, that's Amanda. I had no idea that she had moved to Dallas. We hadn't talked in years.
I think the last one was at an AKA conference. We're so around.
Yeah.
I think the last one was at AKA conference in Colorado or something, right?
Maybe it was Oklahoma. Yeah. And so, we hadn't talked in years, and then God divinely connected us. Oh, yeah. And He will bring people into your life that you didn't even know you prayed for, but you did. So just focus on yourself and focus on being a better person, raising your vibration.
That is absolutely true. And I will say, ever since I started doing the 515 thing as well, a lot of things that were kind of distracting me have just kind of naturally phased out. People are starting to notice, okay, I'm not going to call Amanda so late because Amanda's not going to pick up my phone. Or she's going to not cuss me out but not be very happy with me, right? All right. So the last tip I have here is to laugh. We do a lot of this.
Yes.
Laughing actually relaxes your body and relieves physical tension and stress. Studies have shown that your muscles can remain relaxed up to 45 minutes after a good laugh. It can also fire up and cool down your stress response, which increases your heart rate and blood pressure and creates a very relaxed feeling. So that was also in the book that we were listening to. They were talking about the importance of laughter. Turn on something that's going to make you laugh. I mean, you cannot scroll 2 boxes on Instagram without the funniest meme. The funniest. Go and look at the Arthur ones.
If you follow the right people.
Yeah, you got to follow the right people.
Like us.
Yeah, well, mine's
not really that funny, but
mine's super duper namaste. But anyways, you get the gist. Find a reason to laugh every single day. Life is beautiful. Life is amazing. Find some type of reason or way to appreciate it and just laugh.
And what's funny is that Amanda and I went around Dallas and we were doing this little photo shoot. And Amanda keeps going, laugh at the thought of anybody ever thinking that you were broke or that you were broke. Laugh at, it was just funny the things that she was saying. And I was laughing, y'all. I'm not gonna lie.
So those pictures, that picture right there.
At the top,
definitely, probably, I don't know. We're just always laughing. It's good to be happy. And it does really good things for you in so many more ways than we could ever explain in this webinar, about the power of positivity, about the power of happiness, about the power of perspective. Please change your perspective. It's everything. It'll change, where you are with your idea of money. It'll change where you are with your idea of your job, whatever it is. Find the good.
And happy women make more money. It's a proven fact. It's a proven fact that happy women make more money. And sometimes you have to laugh at yourself. Sometimes I look at some of the things I used to do financially and I'm just I have to laugh because it's funny. I had no clue what I was doing, and that's okay. I am perfectly okay with admitting that I was a complete mess. and that I don't claim to have it all together, but I thank God daily that He has delivered me. Definitely.
All right. So breathe. Chances are you haven't been breathing correctly since you were a baby. Think of the way the baby takes those deep, full breaths, like their belly just rises really big and it falls really small. And somewhere along the way, we lost that. But the good thing is it can be retaught. I tell my clients all the time to ask themselves throughout their practice, am I breathing? Not the type of breathing that you have to do, but the type of breathing that you need to do, those deep, mindful breaths. Stress interferes with the depth and the shallowness of your breath, and it leads to less oxygen in your bloodstream, blood vessel constriction, less oxygen in your brain, and increased heart rate and blood pressure, and a lightheaded, shaky, intense feeling. And I'm sure we've all experienced those before. Stress activates the stress response, which we talked about earlier, and that's better known as your fight or flight. Well, breathing works directly through your brainstem to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is known as your rest and digest. So we can literally breathe our way from that fight or flight, that crazy feeling, over to your rest and digest, a feeling of calm. Breathing has been proven to decrease anxiety and depression, increase happiness and optimism, improve sleep, strengthen our ability to regulate our emotions, improve trauma symptoms, reduce impulsivity, and so much more. Practicing breathing exercises regularly will literally change the connections in your brain to make mindful breathing a habit and eventually a behavior. And once this becomes a behavioral norm, you can literally breathe your way into the relaxed response arena and mindfully begin to act versus react. Remember, during stress, our bodies and brains want to get us to a place of safety as quick as possible with the tools it knows how to access. And with practice, breathing can become one of those tools. So I wanted to share with you guys one of my favorite breathing exercises that I use, and I call this the Mako Bravo breath. And this exercise is going to help you feel more grounded and have a better sense of control in the present moment. So we're actually going to do this with you. Okay? Can you guys see us? Okay. All right, so first you're gonna stand grounded, so through all four corners of your feet, or you can come seated to an upright position, ears resting above shoulders, shoulders resting above hips. All right, check your hair out. Okay, good. Sitting up nice and straight, or standing if you chose to. You're gonna bring your eyes to closed or at a low gaze. And I'm going to invite you to bring your hands to your belly if you'd like. And we're going to come into a full breath. So inhaling deeply, exhaling completely. Inhaling deeply, exhaling completely. Inhaling deeply, exhaling completely. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, noticing the rise of your belly, full inhale. Exhale, noticing the fall. Doing that a couple more times. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling completely. Inhale. And exhale. And from here, you're going to ask yourself the following series of questions. Where am I? Why am I stressed? Is this worth my energy? What can I do to change it? From there, you'll repeat the following affirmation. I am in control.
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 From there, fluttering the eyes back open. Good. Very good. Thank you for joining me.
I like that.
I love the Mako Bravo breath. I came up with that with Bravo or Micah Matthews. He's a personal trainer here in Dallas, and we're both really big on pushing breathing. So obviously with yoga, it's coordinated movements with your breath, but he's a personal trainer, and he talks about the importance of breathing while you're working out. And so we kind of combined forces on that one, and we talk a lot about, he's a nerd too. It's Nerds for Life, NFL. Okay, got really into it, I'm sorry. But anyways, yeah, we came up with that breath, and we do other ones and share different strategies, and thank you for joining.
Yeah, and I think that that will definitely be something that you can use at work. Definitely when you are not avoiding your bills anymore, where you have to take a deep breath and or answer the phone, stop blocking their calls.
Definitely.
So definitely use that, you guys, because I'm going to be using that.
Yeah.
I am in control.
Yes, I love that affirmation. I am in control, just like Jaleesa talked about. You are in control of your finances. You are in control of your life. You are in control of whatever it is. It is up to you and only you to decide that you want that happiness. You want that joy. You want to be a full-time entrepreneur. You want to be, financially free. Once you make that affirmation, you're the one who has to chase it to make it come true. Okay?
Yes.
So moving on from the breathing exercise. Yep, go back to the slide. So if you want to go back just to share with them, here's the Mako Bravo breath written out, and I can always walk you guys through this, and my email is at the end of the presentation if you guys ever have questions. But again, help you feel more grounded in the present moment. Keys are to be comfortable in whatever breathing exercise you do, whether it's this one or any other one that you ever run across. Definitely feel comfortable. And again, obviously you can do this standing or seated or seated. What are you, seated?
Seated.
And I'm a yoga teacher. Okay. Standing or seated. I do a lot of breathing in my car because Dallas people can't drive. I'm sorry, they can't. And I'm from Kansas, and we're very easygoing, and y'all just like to fly on the road no matter what the weather is. And I'm sorry, but it's true. Okay, and then bringing the eyes to close or to low gaze. So eliminating your distractions is very important when you do breathing exercises or any mindfulness exercises. Allow yourselves to detach. Divorce yourselves from anything that happened prior from the moment, and divorce yourself from the idea of anything that's going to occur after that moment. Just allow yourself to be for once. Coming into a breath that is full, allow yourself to feel where you are in that present moment. So if you're seated, feel the way, I call it your bum. Feel the way that your bum feels against the floor. Feel the way that your feet feel against your mat or your seat or whatever you're doing. Feel the rise and fall of your hands. Feel grateful for every breath. And then asking yourself those questions, why am I stressed? Is it worth my energy? What can I do to change it? Where am I? Asking yourself those questions, give yourself time to mindfully respond to those and really understand, where am I? Okay, I'm seated on my couch. seated. I'm seated on my couch, why am I stressed? Really address the issue. I'm stressed because X, Y, Z. And then start to understand, is this truly worth my energy? Should I really be this angry, or am I just hungry like the Snickers lady? I'm still hungry. I can't stop thinking about the time we're about to go smash after this.
Oh,
and then what can I do to change it? What were you going to say?
I was going to say, and that's actually a really good thing to do when it comes to your money, because you're going to first realize that there are some things that at this moment you may not be able to change, but it's going to definitely help you to be able to recognize what you can change and take action to change it.
Yeah, I agree. All Right, and then the affirmation, I am in control, was the final one, and we're actually going to go into affirmation. So at the end of the Mako Bravo breath, we repeated the affirmation, I am in control, all right? The quality of your life is determined by how you feel about the state of your life, how happy you are, and your level of self-esteem. And so many of us, unfortunately, entertain negative thoughts on a regular basis, and we're not realizing how much of an impact they have on our confidence, our mood, and our outlook.
Zig Ziglar calls it stinking thinking.
Stinking thinking. I like that. All right. So positive affirmations are positive statements that describe something ideal for your life. They are declarations of what you wish to be. So I am successful. I am loved. When those statements are repeated, they get impressed on your subconscious mind, which causes it to strive and work on your behalf until the positive statement comes true. Negative affirmations, unfortunately, work the exact same way. So telling yourself things like, I'm not skilled enough for that position, or I'm broke, or I don't deserve XYZ has the exact same effects. These statements, too, become impressed on your subconscious mind, causing the mind to work until they become true. So you can start to see how powerful your words are. And you start to understand, how much power you hold just in your tongue. I know you guys have probably heard life and death is in the power of the tongue. It's been proven. Scientific studies are continuously confirming the power of positive speaking, positive thoughts, positive environments. And your words are, my dad always says, word is bond and bond is life. But
I like that.
Your words are your bond. So what you're speaking is ultimately what you want to come true. And your mind is just like, okay, I am successful. Okay, yes, let's do everything that it takes to become successful. And when you say broke, your mind is like, yes, I'm broke. Let's do everything it takes to become broke. And that's when you start to make those bad decisions.
Absolutely.
So scientific studies, like I said, have proven that positive affirmations improve willpower, self-control, self-confidence, problem solving, and creativity. And when you repeat a thought like, I am happy multiple times every day, you begin to believe it and in turn act in ways that align with your mantra.
Let me say this.
Sure.
So it's so funny because when I first got into affirmations, I was like, this stuff is crazy.
Yeah.
But I found times when I was so upset, like fuming, angry, and I would sit there and be like, I am happy, I am happy, I am strong, and just immediately start feeling better.
Yeah.
So definitely if you're one of those people who are like, affirmations are a little hokey for me, try it out.
Yeah, what's the worst with trying it? And if you follow me or Jaleesa, we post affirmations every single day. And we actually live by them. Like, we give each other affirmations. If you go to I call it my Insta Snap, because Instagram, hijack Snapchat or something, I don't know.
She's not on Snapchat.
I'm not on Snapchat. I haven't gotten that deep. But anyways, affirmations are incredibly, incredibly, incredibly powerful. One tip I will say with your affirmations is you can't just be like, yeah, I'm successful. You have to believe it. You have to feel it with everything in your body. You have to be able to stand and affirm, I am successful. And you have to make your brain believe, yeah, I am successful. And then that's when you're going to start doing the work. When you keep saying things over and over, it's okay, let's get to work so that this comes true. Mm-hmm. You can't just say it and expect for it to pop up. Mm-hmm. You have to say it and work for it. It's the same thing. Faith without works is dead. And same thing goes for your affirmations. When you speak it, you have to ask for it, believe it with unwavering faith that it'll come true, and then receive it. ABR, ask, believe, receive. And you have to be patient. It's just because something goes wrong, you can't just, give up. You have to hang in there and still believe with unwavering faith that your affirmation will come true. And the last thing I want to say about that is that you should start to think about your thoughts like a muscle. So the more repetitions that you do, the stronger that thought becomes. So exercise your positive thoughts. If your thoughts are positive, they're going to get stronger, and that frequency is what we like to call it, will get stronger for you to be able to manifest the things that you truly want. And remember, the same thing works when you're negative. You exercise those negative thoughts, you keep talking negative, talking about negative people, not talking negatively about people, being in negative environments, that all fuels that negative fire to make those negative affirmations come true. So definitely, 100, 1,000, 1 million times over, increase your positive thoughts over your negative thoughts. And so from here, Jaleesa's actually going to share with us one of her favorite affirmations.
This is my favorite affirmation. I have a lot of favorites, but
Yeah,
this is one of my favorites, which is every situation is a positive situation if viewed as an opportunity for growth and self-mastery.
Love it.
So when my money situation was completely messed up, when I was that one paycheck away from homelessness, that ended up being a positive situation for me because it was life-changing and it helped me to be where I am today. It was the first step, and I'm thankful for that, even though back then I probably just cried. Oh, so we're gonna do Q&A. This is like my favorite part of every webinar. So let me, she put the Sora picture up there. So let me take it back so that you guys can see us. Stop screen sharing. Hey, Angel, you're on the line.
Hey, girl.
Stacy, oh, thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Monique, thank you guys
Monique,
so
did
much.
you go to KU? Oh, we should talk about the 10-second delay.
Oh, yes. Okay, so there is a slight 10-second delay. It always shows up in Q&A. That's when you can really tell that it's a delay. So any questions you guys have about anything that we talked about tonight, we would love to answer your question. I wonder if the chat needs to be refreshed. Was the webinar recorded? How do we find it if we need it? Yes, the webinar was recorded. We are going to be selling the replay. How long did it finally take me to get out of debt? It took me about 3 years for $35,000. And then last year I got married. So I was in the wedding. Yeah, so I was not paying down as much debt as I should have been. So yeah, it took about 3 years. Amanda, do you live stream classes?
I don't live stream, but I do teach online. So I have a couple clients that I work with, and we do private sessions online. But no, I don't have any live streamed classes. But if you have a group or something that you want to get together, definitely talk to me, Amanda@apieceofyoga.com, and that's peace like peace. And we can definitely set something up.
Perfect. So Paige asked, how do we allocate funds for your spending plan? So you can work one-on-one with me. Well, my calendar is closed for one-on-ones right now to do a spending plan. But I will say this. First step in allocating your money towards your spending plan is figuring out exactly where you stand. Normally your biggest bill is going to be taxes, the IRS, they take a huge chunk, and housing and auto tend to be the big things. And people grossly overspend on auto. So if your car note is more than 10% of your income, that might be a problem. So that's the first step. But definitely, I will be doing a full budget course because it'll probably take a little bit more to answer that question. Not budget, spending plan. It's going to be called the No Budget Spending Plan. You guys know.
No budget zone.
No budget zone. But because budget is the name that people know, it will have budget in there. But it's going to be the No Budget Spending Plan, and I'm going to go full into detail. I will say this one thing. Make sure that in your spending plan, you have play money, because you don't want to get caught up on lack. And you don't want to get caught up on cutting everything and you have no money for yourself. Like, that doesn't make you feel abundant. That doesn't make you feel wealthy. And that doesn't make you want to keep doing what you're doing. So
Yeah, and this girl knows what she's talking about, because it wasn't that long ago that I was like stressing myself out crazy about money. And anybody that knows me knows that I was kind of like going through it. And Jaleesa helped me a lot as far as figuring out, what I needed to do, what I could tackle to, get ahead on my finances. And yeah, I mean, I was thinking in terms of lack. I was, and it's like, you teach this and sometimes things slip away from you. But I was thinking in terms of lack, and I had to realize, like, no, God has provided before, God will provide again. We always go to church.
Absolutely.
but yeah, absolutely. I decided not to be afraid to like enjoy my life. Like,
Right.
I might not be able to buy a steak dinner every night, but I don't need that because.
But if you want to, I do believe that we play too small in life. We play way too small, and I'm huge right now on this like average is for suckers thing. Like, let's be moguls, like I actually just got shirts made. They say average is a disease and being a mogul is the cure. Because I don't want us as women to feel like we have to shrink. Like I want you guys to do one thing this week. Like, pay attention to how much money is around you. Just as you're driving down the street, as you're walking in the grocery store, just pay attention to the circulation of money. Whether it be the new card readers. Somebody made millions and millions of dollars on this new chip technology. Whether it be somebody outside washing cars, they created a car wash. Whatever it be, just focus on all the flow of money.
I saw some more questions on here. Can I please restate the breathing technique questions? Absolutely. So, like I said, you're standing or sitting. So standing on all four corners of your feet, so you're really feeling grounded, or sitting up nice and straight, bringing your hands to your belly and eyes to a close or at a low gaze, and asking yourself, where am I? Why am I stressed? Is this worth my energy? And lastly, what can I do to change it? So where am I? Why am I stressed? Is this worth my energy? And what can I do to change it? And again, if you didn't catch that, please feel free to shoot me an email, amanda@apieceofyoga.com. I'd be more than glad to share it.
There was a question for you, Amanda. Where's your studio in Texas?
My studio in Texas is actually right where you're looking. So I have a private practice. I teach out of my home. I go to people's homes. I go to workplaces. I've gone to churches. I go to parks. I go literally wherever you want me to. Yoga and mindfulness on the go. So you let me know where my studio is, and I'd be more than glad to help you.
And she live streams. Don't forget.
Yeah, I do teach online.
Jessica asked, Amanda, do you offer prenatal and postnatal yoga classes?
I have taught pregnant ladies yoga. I've taught prenatal yoga before, yeah. So it's not that much. A few adjustments need to be made. Prenatal yoga classes are nice if you have an actual prenatal class, or if you can have a private, because there's so many modifications that can be made for you. And so for you to be more comfortable in your yoga practice, it's definitely preferred that you either go to an actual prenatal class or have a private, have a one-on-one, and just be gentle with yourself. Most things you can do, especially if you already have a practice, but taking time to know, what's good for you. Okay, maybe I shouldn't twist, maybe I shouldn't go over my head today, or whatever it is. There's definitely adjustments that can be made specifically for you.
So someone asked what our websites were. So I'm going to type them into the chat, but I'm also going to say them. So my website is mymoneymogul.com.
And my website is apieceofyoga.com.
So we'll type that into the chat so you guys can, oh wait, let me not.
Or not.
Let me not mess anything up, okay?
What are ways that you both found your job wise?
I think that question was about the 7 multiple streams of income.
7 job ones. Okay.
Yes. So Amanda, do you want to go first on that one?
Sure. So not quite sitting at 7 streams yet, but I will say what happened with me, Paige, was, or was that Jessica? Yes, Paige. I was actually working at the time. I was in a recruiting role, and it wasn't.
I just want to make sure that's the right side before I press post.
A piece of yoga.com. That is correct. Okay, so I was in a role that just simply wasn't satisfying for me, and when I walked away from it, I decided, okay, you know what, like this isn't me. I wasn't happy. I was, walking away from my job every day in tears, and it just wasn't a good place for me to be in, and it wasn't a good space for me mentally, spiritually, physically, any of that. And so what I decided to do was take time to unapologetically do things that I loved. And once I started doing things that I loved, all these opportunities started pouring into place. And it has just been a continuous buildup of just like nonstop finding opportunities and things to do that were going to satisfy me and like make me happy in life. So before I had even gotten a job at the school or done any of that, I started teaching yoga, and I started teaching at the homeless shelter. So I've been teaching there for a year, and just finding reasons to be grateful for what I have. And I promise you, as soon as I did that, and I was saying my affirmations, and we have these things that we call law of attraction nights, where we come together and like just
mastermind.
Mastermind about like, okay, what are we gonna do? Like, what, where do we want this life to take us? Like, how do we want to be successful? Like, just once I started doing things that I loved, opportunities just started kind of falling into place, to be honest with you. I didn't have to seek anything out. Like, things sought me out. Right. And so, I say just start to figure out where your passion lies. What makes you happy? Like, what's that thing that makes your heart beat? And then start to do it. And as you do it, you're going to get on that frequency of love. And once you're on the frequency of love, you start to attract more things that you love and things that love you back. Okay? So, just figure out where your passion is, and then make your passion, it's almost like your paycheck, but right. Just because it will naturally become your paycheck.
Right.
They say when you love what you do, like it doesn't feel like work. I don't feel like work. And everybody's like, Amanda, you're always working. And I'm like, I'm living. They're like, what do you do for fun? I'm like, I run my business. So I teach yoga. I teach mindfulness. I study a lot, and I read, and I just try to completely smother myself in the things that I love, and just naturally the floodgates just opened up.
And I think the biggest misconception is that you have to do different things. Like you have to own a car wash, and then you have to own a hotel, and then you have to, or whatever it might be. But like Amanda was saying, what you need to do is really just find your passion. Like, what is it that God has given you a gift of, and that you can share with other people? And sometimes, it doesn't have to be yoga, or it doesn't have to be finance, or whatever it can be. Sometimes it's just sharing your story, just telling somebody what you've been through and how you overcame that, and helping another woman overcome that too. And the way you begin to create those multiple streams is you take that thing, your story, yoga, finance, and you make that a multiple stream. So you do social media. You can make money off social media. We know there's Definitely. Tons of people making tons of money on social media. Then there are people that do public events, speaking. And when you go and you speak, we're speaking on the same topics, the same things that we love, the same things that we're talking about in our digital courses, the same things that we are talking about in these books that we're writing, the same thing. So it's just about taking your gifts and learning how to create them in multiple ways, because people consume things differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I might like video, she might like audio, I might like podcasts, someone else might want to see you live, and someone else might want to have brunch or dinner with you. So
yeah, I think that's so important too. When you find what it is, like to know, okay, I don't have to own a car wash and be a real estate agent and be all these different things. Like I can legit like do what I love and make it work. There's so many people out there that are like, like motivational speakers, and they're getting paid for events, and then they write a book, and then they podcast about it, and then they, they have advertisements online. That's 4 streams right there.
And then they have a membership site.
They have what is it called?
Affiliates is huge. Yeah. Like, just like, can you imagine like all the times you have on something cute or you do something and you recommend it to your friends, like if you got paid for that, like that's affiliate marketing right there. Like I have on this cute outfit, you like my dress, you think it's cute, you want to go buy it. So when you go buy it at the Gap or wherever, H&M, H&M's gonna give me money for referring you.
Right. And then it just rains on her automatically.
Right.
Makes it rain. Makes it rain.
Absolutely. So do we have any other questions?
An Excel spreadsheet. Stacy.
Oh, Stacy says, when creating a spending plan, is there a specific program you recommend, or an Excel spreadsheet will be nice? You know, actually, I'm trying to think of a specific program. I consume so much information that sometimes it's a little hard to remember. There is a specific program. Stacy, if you could either reach out to me on social media or email. You can email me at hello@mymoneymogul.com. I would love to send you some recommendations. Now, I know one of my coaches and someone that I absolutely love is Patrice C. Washington. She's the Money Maven, known as the Money Maven, and she also does personal finance and everything on the Steve Harvey Show, has a morning segment on his radio show. She has a book called Real Money Answers for Every Woman. And I want to say that in that book, she has a spending plan, or she has some kind of where you should be allocating your funds. Now, the thing about personal finance is it's very personal. So sometimes I don't like the cookie cutter, like, this needs to be here and this needs to be here, because they don't always work for everybody. Another one who has a pretty good spending plan is T. Harv Eker. He has one in his book, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. And you can always find some on Fiverr. It's $5. Can't beat that for an Excel spreadsheet. And I will tell you, T. Harv Eker's spending plan is very much like you're living off 50% of your income. So you want to have like a high income, because he has a lot of different allocations that are not towards, I think only 50% go towards your living expenses, which is ideal, but sometimes not the best place to start. And did we have any other questions? If not, we're going to end tonight's.
Oh, one more thing.
Oh, Mandy has a gift for you guys.
I have a gift for you. So for signing up, this is my first webinar. Thank you so much for sharing this moment with me. I'm actually going to be sharing my first ebook. It's called Mako Mindfulness, 9 Tools for Stress Management, with you guys. And in this ebook, it'll give you more information about stress, a lot of the things we talked about tonight. It'll also give you 3 breathing exercises, and the Mako Bravo breath is in there. And then also 3 affirmations, 3 of my favorite affirmations. I believe I am in control is one of them. And then lastly, 3 yoga poses that I use for stress. So 3 things that are accessible to you anywhere and anytime. The yoga poses have modifications. So for the Prego one out there, you might want to use some of those, okay? And congratulations on your baby. Yeah. But yeah, so I will be sending that out to you guys in the next few days. And yeah, just want to say thank you for spending the evening with us.
Yes, thank you. And please shout us out on Instagram. Post under our post. Let us know how you guys enjoyed it. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to get emails from you guys, just letting us know how you enjoyed it. This is Amanda's first webinar, so I'm super excited for her.
Yeah, and if you guys don't already follow me, I'm SFMako1908. I know nobody knows what Mako is. We can get that out the way. Mako is my favorite shark. It is the short fin Mako. It's the fastest shark. And yeah, it's really channeling my inner nerd. But thank you for spending the evening with us.
And I'm on Instagram at MyMoneyMogul. Everywhere else on social media, I'm Jaleesa Ann. So Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere else I'm at Jaleesa Ann. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Oh, thanks, Malika, for hitting us with the link. That's why we love you.
We do love you. My tribe.
So Thank you guys so much, and have a great night. We're going to go to dinner.
Evening. Yes, we're going to go eat Thai food. Hungry.